Hey guys, it's Retextures one and only. My name is AJ. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Build a City. If you missed last episode, I highly recommend you go and watch it because it was a bit of a future planning video. We went into Photoshop and we sort of got a basic idea on where future series might be, like superhero bases and submarines. But we also planned out where some important buildings are going to need to go, some things that we've got left to do that need some room to begin with, and then any space left we'll just put houses and smaller buildings in. Also, while we're here, remember we built this building a few episodes ago now, 3 or 4 episodes ago, before we started Grove Street, and my Minecraft crashed just before we finished the episode. Well, I ended up just finishing it off. There was nothing really too much more to it apart from putting some leaves down. I love it though. I don't know if I actually done a proper fly around with it afterwards, but yeah, we've got some benches now out the front here and some chairs. Oh, I love it. I really love the greenery. It's a nice amount of greenery. It's not too much, you know, just enough to give it a little bit of dimension, because let's be fair, the building is actually really simple. There's not much to it at all, but it's the colours that we've integrated into it that's made it look really quite special. I really like it. It feels nice and old and traditional, which is sort of what this part of the city is really going for. Love it. Really nice. Anyway, today though, we're going to be heading up to the observatory because I want to work out where I'm going to put the rest of the university. We decided quite a long time ago when we were building the observatory that we wanted to have the university integrated into it all. So it was all sort of one area with some nice sort of tree lines and make it look quite nice, but with the observatory sort of plonked on the end. But the problem that we've got is that we have a mountain in the way. Now, last episode when we were sort of planning it out, I said that I wanted an L shape of 2 buildings. So one building here, and then one building here. Something like that. And then a building in the middle, and then you can sort of walk around through the middle of it, around the centre building and within the other 2. But we've got a car park in the way as well. So what I might have to do is take away the car park, or a little bit of the car park, and we'll extend the car park round, maybe to here or something like that. The car park isn't really that important. And then what we'll do is flatten this mountain down. We might have to remove a few of these trees and make an area big enough for us to build on. We can then terraform the rest of the mountain to look natural again, so we don't have a giant cliff face. We might have to do a little bit of terraforming on this side as well and make the cliff a little bit sharper to try and give us a little bit more room. So, let's just get going with this. It's not going to be that difficult. We're going to first... let's just get rid of, the car park walls and everything for the minute. I'll go from there to there, set air, and then we'll just get rid of the car park itself as well, because why not? We can set grass. Alright, so it's like the car park never existed there. Now, I would really like a car park to try and flow down and around the side here, even if we sort of use this end triangle piece as the car park. I don't want to bring the land out anymore because it's going to be really hard to terraform it otherwise because of the road that we've got there. And I want to have a path going around from the front of the observatory because at the minute it sort of just goes down the mountain. We'll have to fix that. So let's take away now some of this mountain here. If we go there, and we sort of go back a relatively far distance here, and we just sort of chop it off. So let's go from here to about here. Pause 2, set air. That just got rid of 30,000 blocks. Isn't that crazy how we can just do that? I think it's nuts. Alright, now that should be pretty good. Now it looks really ugly at the moment, but don't worry. What we're going to do, I think if we terraformed it down in a relatively sharp thing, we brought it out to where the stone is, and the mountain sort of started there and went up, I reckon we've got enough room for what I want with the little building in the middle. I reckon that's enough. So let's now grab ourselves a sword, and we set this to a brush smooth 6. Oh, brush smooth brush smooth. There we go. 6. There we go. So it's a nice big smoothing brush now. And what that allows us to do, look, is just very gently. It's a big brush, but it's still relatively gently. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Bring this mountain down a little bit so we don't end up with a sheer cliff face. Once we've got the shape that we want, we can then easily just change the blocks to be our mountainous blocks, so we don't get this black in here. But already this looks a little bit better. I tell you what, this black would look great as. This black is stone, which is the same block as we're using for the road. But how sick would it be for a volcano? Now, a lot of you guys have wanted a volcano. I don't think that I put it into last episode sort of planning on Photoshop, but I have seen the suggestion, and I am thinking on a way how we can do it, how we can pull it off and make it look decent and not like a giant black rock in the middle of the ocean, because that's how a lot, let's face it, that's how a lot of volcanoes in Minecraft end up looking. But this stone, I think, looks really cool as like dried like magma sort of stuff, or obsidian, isn't it? I think it's technically known as, but obsidian's like slightly different in Minecraft. So if we set, I can go up a little bit. If we go right up here, we'll be able to sort of cut out everything. We might get a little bit of a road, but it doesn't matter. Set, replace dirt with grass. So that gets rid of all that. And then we do that with stone. So we removed a little bit of the road, but I'm really not that worried. Okay, so it's just a little bit more left in the mountain here. Pause 1. And go up here. Okay, now on the mini-map, look. It doesn't look any different. It looks like we're just sort of flattening out a bit of ground, which is good. If it looked wrong, if it looked weird on this map, then we obviously didn't smooth it off correctly enough. But I think that looks pretty decent. There we go. They are just all going away. Couple of blocks that are just a little bit gapped. Obviously the grass will die to dirt eventually as well. Alright, so we've just given ourselves a bunch more room. As you can see, it's not hard to do this in places that we need to. But yeah, now we've got a huge amount of room to build a university in the same style as we've got the observatory. So I want this sort of brick foundation and then with the sandstone on top of it. That's, I think, is going to look really, really cool. So let's go with the bricks here, because we know whatever the brick area is going to be 2 blocks wider and 2 blocks longer than the sandstone, because it's going further out. So if we make this as wide as we can, so let's say from here, and I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on the map here, because the map's going to be an easy way to judge how wide things are and how much room that we've got left. That might be a little bit too wide though, like that, instead of having to back off every time. And then this is pretty much as long as I can get away with. I want to get it as close to that mountain as possible without making it look like it's touching it. If we can get some nice trees down in here, which we did have some nice trees. It's like the only trees in the entire city are up here. I think the quality of air in this city is pretty terrible, because there's no trees taking up the carbon dioxide and giving out oxygen. So people probably struggle to breathe here, and it's sea air as well, so it makes you really thirsty. So there's building number 1 there. And then building number 2 is going to go along here. I sort of like how that bit of mountain curves around there. It doesn't need to be in line. In fact, I don't want it perfectly in line. If we can get this to sort of go out like that. You see how the buildings are just off? I think that's going to look really decent. And then we'll bring that out to here. Make that one maybe a little bit fatter because it's shorter. It's a bit stumpier. Missed out a load of blocks. In fact, we might be able to stick the car park where I'm worried about the car park. I always like to have places for the people to park in the area, but we could have the car park down this side in a straight line and have the road come down and car parking even on both sides. And then what I want in the middle, like I said, was a building in the center here as well. So with this one, we probably do want to have an even amount of blocks between. So let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. I think that looks about right, doesn't it? It looks like a nice amount of width to be able to walk down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then if we bring that out there, if I imagined walking around this corner, yeah, that feels a nice size, doesn't it? You know, you could get, if there's a lot of people here at the university studying, you could be able to walk past each other without too much problem. So you'll have that there. Now, another reason why we need a little bit of room is because the, no, I can't go to there. The stairway, the doorways to get into this building are technically sort of 2/3 blocks off the ground, like this, because we have the bricks go up quite a lot. So we need to sort of remember that and put the staircases in a strategic place so they don't end up inhibiting the walkways too much. Oop, way too far. Got a little carried away there. And then down here. Oops. Yeah, okay. That looks pretty decent. I'm happy with that, yeah? I think that's going to look pretty good with all the same buildings. We'll continue the tree line. I can't pause it, but you see the tree line that goes where my mouse is here? Around the edge. If we can continue that all the way up as well and around the edge, I think that's going to be really cool and really hold the entire university in with trees. That would be really, really cool to do. So, can I shortcut this at all? I probably think so. I always find a way to shortcut things. It's my job. We shall put another layer of this down. Copy. Paste. So that's got that second layer of brick on. And then I'm afraid I might as well cut away for a little bit here while I just do this quickly. Because all I'm going to do is place slabs around them all. And I'm going to put sandstone up, what's it, like 3 or 4 blocks. Just get it up to the same height as the other part of the university over there, okay? I'll be back. Okay, so I've got all the sandstone up to the same height as the original observatory here, but I've decided that I think I want the 2 buildings that are on the perimeter here to be 2 stories tall. That way we get a little bit of change in the roof heights, and it'll still be out of the way of the observatory if the observatory faces towards the back. So I think the easiest way to do this is if we mark out where a window is. So let's just say there's a window here, because they're 2x3 windows. And then what we do is count where we want the next window to start. So let's say if we wanted the next window to be, well, let's just say for example's sakes, let's say there. And we look at it and we say, no, they're too close together. Let's put another block between them. And we say, yeah, no, that looks a lot better. That could work. And let's say, let's try one more. And you say, you know, that could work as well, actually. No, I think I like that one the best. I think I like that height the best. Now you already know how high you want all of the second stories to be. So probably the easiest way to do this is just going to be copy and paste your way all the way up. For me, at least, because I can. So let's go over here. Copy. And paste. Paste, paste. Now we don't know where the windows are going to be yet, because the windows on these buildings have to have the slabs sitting on top of the windows, and that's how they're spaced out. So we can't set out the windows until we've done the roof. It's a really backwards way of doing it. You know, I don't think we've got another building in the entire city that needs to be done like that. But that's just the way this one works. Paste. Now we just need to make sure we get this one to the same height. I also put the curve back on the road now as well. I think that's the same height, right? There we go. I can never tell with my eyes sometimes. It's really hard. But yeah, I put the curve back in the road so we can stick the car park down real quick at the end. Okay, that's going to look absolutely fantastic. Now let's just take a quick look on how this roof goes. So we obviously need full blocks and slabs. We have a full block in the corner. We know that. That's not a full block. We have a full block in the corner. We know that. And then it goes to 2 of those and 2 of those. Nope, it doesn't. The blocks go down there, don't they? And then we go underneath and we go 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. Yeah, so that's how it works. Now, we don't know if this is going to work out exactly perfect because that one and that one. Because we didn't count out like if the building was odd or even at the beginning. So what we're going to do is we're going to work from the outside inwards. So we've got an up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up. And what if we get in the middle, we'll just leave as. So we have that one and that one. See, so now it's 4 up in the middle. You're not going to notice that, you know. In fact, it probably will end up looking quite nice eventually. Let's put those down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1 in the middle of that. Oh, that's not in the middle. That's the middle. So we have 1 up there. So as you can see, it's still got that wave effect that we want. And I know the middle's somewhere around there. That one, that one, that one, that one. I can't tell which one's the middle. Pretty sure that's the middle. Yeah, that's alright. That's right. And then along here. Okay, so that's this is the first building that we have. Ooh, that one. First building that we have, that it's all on the ground floor, and then these buildings obviously up by another one. Let's just double check that we've got, that is going to be right, isn't it? Because we have the window there, and then the window there, and then they go there. Yeah, absolutely bang on. Okay, so let me do this around the other 2 buildings because we've all seen this before now, and I should be back, okay? Alright, just sticking the trees around the edge here. I've got them all on. How magnificent do they look, even with no windows? I think these buildings look quite cool. So now we need to put in windows and where the doors are going to go. And we need to be, like I said earlier, quite strategical about the doors, because the doors aren't on the ground floor. They're not on the area that you walk on, you know, around the university. You have to go up some steps in order to get in there. How cool does that look? Proper goes around and everything. Love it. So we need to think about where they're going to be. Maybe even having multiple entrances into some of them would be a good idea. So this window needs to go because that's not in the right spot. We'll put a window in there. We can go with like a lot of windows on these, I think, because they're meant to be like classrooms in them. So I think majoritarily, or in most of the spots, we're going to just put the windows where we can. Doesn't matter how many windows we have on here. So, yeah, see, that's going to look really, really cool. And then we'll put the windows down here as well. That one, that one, that one. And then we can make one of these into a door. Instead, we'll just have to take a quick. Oops! Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh yes, because that one is the center. I thought something felt wrong. Something just wasn't sitting right with me on how this was going. I've forgotten something quite important here, I'm sure. Put those down there. That one. That one. And that one. Now, I do want to put these still on top of these windows to keep the same design, but I don't think I want to put this all of the way around the building. I think that would be too much. You know, the sort of wiggly pattern all the way around. But just having the sills on top of them, I think will look good. So, I think that's a pretty perfect spot for a door, right? We can have a nice 3-wide door in here. Like that. See, they must go. But let's just have a quick look. Ooh. Freeze luck. Let's just have a quick look on how these entrances go. So we just have some stairs going down, some blocks going up to the door. We have a quartz stair on top of where the door is, and then we have the old brick and slabs just sort of pointing out from it. Okay, nice and easy for us to do. So we'll take those away. We'll put those bricks in first. Oops. Put those on there. Put those on there. And those there. And then we have the stairs on top. Now this is a 3 wide door, which means that we can't actually put, in fact it's 3 blocks high as well. We can't put like normal doors in like we have on that one. We can on that because it's a little bit smaller of a building, a little bit more contained. But on these bigger buildings, you want a little bit more of a bigger door, especially when a lot of people are going to be going through them a lot. So, that's going to be how we're going to do it around on the big buildings, the 2 big ones. On the small ones, because this is a smaller building, I think I'm going to be a little bit more careful on where I place windows. I'm not going to have them quite as everywhere. So I'm going to have 2 on that side and that's it. And then I'm going to put 3 here. And then this is where the door's going to be. And then 2 like that. I think that looks pretty nice. It's sort of just off center but still matches everything else in the building. That one, and that one. So we just missed 1 out there. And then on the back side we'll have that one, and that one. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I suppose I might as well cut away again. You guys don't want to see me punch holes in 7 more walls, do you? So I should be back. Hole punching done. Just sticking the glass in here. We're just at the last little section. That one and this wall. And then we can put the roofs on. How cool is this looking, though? Oh, I'm so pleased. The stairways don't get in the way of anything either, do they? There's still plenty of room to get through. More room than I thought. It's getting that real school feel, isn't it? It definitely feels like a school when you're looking at it. I think it's the layout that really helps with that. So let's now put down the roof, which I think is replace air with 44.6. That's the one. So put these slabs across all of those to match the roof, obviously, that we've got down on the original building. And down here. Doesn't the... Well, as soon as you finish off a building by putting a roof on it, it just looks completed, even if it's not. I think that looks so cool, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. And I think I'm going to stick with the clean look. You know how we don't have... Ooh, mouse. You know how we don't have any aircon units and you know, rails and stuff on the tops of these buildings like we do on there, for example. I'm not going to on this one. I think it looks better with it looking a lot cleaner. You know, maybe they've got some different technology or not using the aircon that everyone else uses here or something like that. I think it just looks cleaner for a big place like this. Also... Oh no, it is good. I didn't think that door was in line. I was like, that door don't look right, but it was right. So let's just finish off this road here as a first thing. We'll go from there to there. Set stone. We'll put a white line nicely down the middle. Every 2 blocks. That one. That one. That one. That one. That one. That one. And that'll do us a nice little turnaround area. And then what we can do is if we get the lines that go the other way, these ones, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. That's how wide a car park needs to be, how long a car parking spot needs to be in Minecraft for us. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's fill that in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got a quick way of doing this, you see, so all we're doing is just marking out for... Give me my grass back. It's marking out where they go first, and then we don't have to put each individual line in, because that just sucks, doesn't it? That one. And that one. And that should be good. So then if we fill all of that... that one. With 3510. Replace... That's it. With 3510, was it? I've forgotten the number. Yeah. And then replace grass with stone. And then we stand here and we copy. No. We stand here and we copy. And then I stand here and I paste. Bang. Hey. Is that genius or what? I did select an extra car parking spot. It doesn't matter. We'll have an extra one. Why not? have one more than intended. Now, how did the wall go here? How did I do the wall? It was a stone brick with a smooth stone on top of it, wasn't it? I think is how we done it, because I want to have that wall back again, because I think that looked really, really cool. Stone brick, not the monster egg one, and then with the smooth one on top. I'm sure it was that, right? It was just that and that. I'm sure it was. I can't remember. I might have to look back when I edit the video how it was at the beginning. I don't need the end one though. There's no point having an end line if there's no space next to it. I'm going to have to put little breaks in these as well, like maybe a no little parking zone so people can walk through. Let's just have a sort of poke out by one, like that. Okay, we'll just put these down first. And then it's really self-explanatory from here. There isn't really too much to do. All we're going to do is change all the grass up to a nice path block, probably using andesite, since that's the path that we're using everywhere else. And for the stairs, unless I can find something else that looks a little bit more upmarket, maybe something like a smooth block or something like that, could look quite nice. And then just have the stairs like how they are. That could look cool as well. So let's take away this block here, yellow, and if we put like a no parking in here, this is where you can walk through like that. Weather clear. Yeah, so what block can we use as a ground block? Obviously we have the normal nether brick, which is andesite texture. We've got stone, but we're using that in the road already. I don't really want to go with end stone, although it could work. I've already got that on me if I do want to choose that. Quartz is a little bit too white and bright. Wood just would look weird. Hardened clay could look okay. It'd look a little bit astroturfy, wouldn't it? Or normal clay. Obviously, we've always got normal clay as well. It's a block that I use a lot of, but nobody else seems to. You know, I think just normal, the nether brick 112 will work the best for us here. So let's start changing. If we go from here to the edge, replace grass with 112. I could do set to 112 with this, but if I do replace, then I can't accidentally change anything that I'm not supposed to. It will only change grass then, no matter what I accidentally select. So we have that one there. This one over here. So we're going to do a basic square first that goes around, you know, the main loop walk that we want. You see, and then what we need to do is then extend it out into areas, and then it would be really cool if I could change any grass underneath trees to podzol, because that just would look sick. But that might be a little bit too much work for me to do, at least today. So I just want to have a nice curve in with this. We'll just fill that in. There's no really quick way to do this. I get like little tips and stuff on which blocks I can select after doing it more times. But yeah, that's as fast as I could fill in that area on a diagonal. Okay, so we might as well fill up all the way to just before the edge of the building. Because what I want to do is have our wall block. Hello. Oh yeah, they're meant to be there, aren't they? That looks strange for a minute. Slab. So that's how I want it to sort of go around the rest of the sort of building. But just one block in from the edge. So it's not all connected on the same plane. This one. There to there. So you can't sort of walk out where you're not meant to walk out and stuff. And then this one can be around here. I'll just add another one. So again, we don't have it all square and boring and flat. Just have some little crevices and stuff. Now, how are we looking? I think, apart from a little wall that needs to go around there, I think that's looking really, really cool, actually. Some benches is the last final thing to put down for me today. We could go crazy. We could sort of carry on going nuts with this, benches and tables and all sorts. But for the minute, I'm happy on how this is. Like I said, I'd like it'd be nice to have pods all underneath the trees. That'll just add an extra sort of block, extra bit of colour there. Fine detail. But for today, we've been going long enough. So let's go with couch. I'll just put some of these down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. There's always little benches around schools everywhere, isn't there? 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter where they are. As long as they've got a little bit of spacing between them. 2, 3. We'll have like a double one there. That's where the cool kids are. This is for where the boffs are, or whatever we call them now. The nerds. We'll have... I was a nerd. I'm still a nerd. And that one. I think the benches really reinforce the school look as well, right? And there we go. How about that? I think it looks really boring on the map because it's all just grey. But schools are boring, so I think it suits well. Yeah, I'm happy with that. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button. If not already, then feel free to subscribe. We shall see you in the next episode. We also still need to put a nice sort of pathway that goes down, I think would be cool, to the road after the observatory. But yeah,